Yo and hello, good evening everyone, and welcome back to Menu to the Zoo. This is Night Stream 1603, if I've got the math right. And if not, well, it's going to be that number anyways, because I'm too lazy to change it.
Hammer can fix it later.
I mean, that's a
If it's
good
wrong.
point. That's a good point, sir. That's a very good point. Why should I fix my mistakes when someone else can do it for me?
Exactly.
And if you couldn't tell, joining me as always, the number one footage player in all of the YouTube lands. It is Terry Diamantis, folks. Say hi, bud.
Hey, everyone.
How you doing, bud?
Pretty good. And yes, I won all 4 games in Clippers United, despite what Jack says.
I mean, does anyone ever really listen to what Jack says? I mean, come on.
Fair point.
He's not even the right Jack.
That's an excellent point.
Chad, I hope you're doing well tonight. Let's see here. We got some. I don't really have much as usual. I've had a busy day today, but I'm sure that wouldn't matter. Even if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have anything. I'm just that unprepared. All right, there we go. My laptop has been a little slow, so I've been waiting for this stream to show up on that screen so I can get a better, so I can keep an eye on chat and stuff like that. But here we go. All right, so we got Assassin, we got Costin, Kokonoe. I saw Kiever up earlier there.
Yeah.
Hope y'all are doing well. Not a lot going on. What have you been up to this week there, Terry?
Not a whole lot. I've been playing Board Game Arena and basically going through as many of the games as I can. I really just want one win in as many games as possible. I don't care about like a high win rate. Just one win in as many games as possible is all I'm going for.
Fair enough.
So,
fair enough.
I've done a fair bit. I'd say probably done about 50 so far. So
Right on.
Pretty good effort, I'd say.
PhD bot, hey there, hello. Sorry I've been quiet. Oh, no need to apologize. The lurkers are always appreciated. You only need to make yourself known if you want to.
Well, if you want to be louder, I hear clicking the like button amplifies your volume, so give that a try.
Yeah, just pretend you're Will Smith acting like a man to Chris Rock, and it'll help you out.
That was so dumb that is the thing everyone is talking about. It's like, okay, it's just the only thing that's ever been interesting to happen in the Oscars. I get it, but it's still the Oscars. It's not that interesting.
I mean, it can't be the first time someone's been slapped at the Oscars.
Probably the first time on camera.
Fair enough. Apparently, before I got busy today, I saw something over on the Twitter machine saying apparently Will Smith had left the Academy or whatever it was.
Yeah, he stepped down.
But did he give up the award? That's my question.
No, he didn't.
My shock. My shock.
My guess is that it was one of those you can either quit or we can fire you, whichever you prefer. It's like, I would like to stand down from the Academy.
Right. Either that or he was told, so we're going to let you go. This is just a courtesy. We're going to inform you ahead of time, but
yeah,
we appreciate everything. But because of this, we can't let that slide. We're going to let you go.
Yeah. Well,
and then he was like, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. But to save face, I'm going to just dip out and go tell these guys that I'm stepping down. Yeah.
No, that's kind of what I mean. They said, look, we're firing you, but we'll give you the courtesy of pretending that you did this on your own volition.
True. Could be that too, yeah. Yes, member of my hit squad. Oh, the army is growing, I see. Interesting. Yeah. I like it. Yar, there be booty hunter pool. I like that. This guy knows how to make an eye joke. All right. This guy knows how to make a pirate joke. Do you know how annoying it is to see grown ass people walking down the street and then just go, yar, matey? And it's just like, okay, it's cute when the 6-year-olds do it. When you do it, it's just cringe.
Yeah, I mean,
learn how to make a joke, bub.
See, I would have gone the Cyclops joke rather than the pirate, like the one-eyed monster.
Thank you. It's all I'm asking for is a little creativity.
Because I mean, the pirate is just a bit too easy. You got to put a bit of thought into it.
Yeah. Like at my last job, I had kids coming up to the counter and stuff like that. They'd see me and be like, "Are you a pirate?" And I'd be like, "Only in my off hours." I mean, I wasn't exactly lying. YouTube, I'm totally lying. I was never been a pirate. Don't worry about that. Not in the literal sense, at least. Just in this sense. But it was just fun because, like, kids, they don't have much to go off of.
Yeah.
And pirates are cool for them. That's all they got. Plus, especially with fucking, Disney's animated Peter Pan and Pirates of the Caribbean recently, it's their go-to. But a grown-ass adult, you've had at least 25 years to come up with something besides where's the crutch and the cracker?
It's did people challenge you to games of I Spy?
No.
Like, I spy with my little eye something that's to your right.
I spy with me little eye, with me only eye, something to me left. So did you lose your eye? Go fucking. Oh. No, it's still there, it just doesn't work. That's all it is. That is something I'm waiting for someone for when next time I get into like an argument or something like that and someone gets aggressive. I'm waiting for someone to try and drop that line. I saw a monster today, called him Delahazed. That destroyed our friendship. No, we could still be friends.
I don't know why it just reminded me of Monster in My Pocket. There's like a toy, like a bunch of toys that are like little rubber, like various monsters that. And I know.
Yeah.
I know how it sounds, but like that's why it's funny. Is there was like this series of toys called Monster in My Pocket, and kids would buy them, and I guess just never catch on.
Okay, now it's not as funny because kids were buying them. But yeah, okay. Wow, that's terrible and genius marketing at the same time.
Yeah.
Excuse me a second, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking it up on YouTube. It's like, oh, I remember all of these.
There we go. Yeah.
It's yeah, just that popped into my head from my childhood. It's like,
yeah. Oh, that's cool. Let's see here. What else we got? Also, I've read your comments, but I didn't say hi, Cannibalistic. How's it going, bud? Hope you're well. Let's see. Is there anything interesting on Twitter? Not likely, but
not really. It's Twitter.
Apparently, for all you wrestling fans, I hear WrestleMania decided to make WrestleMania a 2-day event now instead of a 1-day thing. Not sure how I feel about that, but then again, I stopped watching WWE pretty much when it became WWE.
I think I watched to like the late '90s, and I haven't paid attention since.
When you lost the attitude era, you lost me. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
pretty much. Yeah, I've like when I was watching, it was people like Stone Cold and The Rock and Mick Foley and The Undertaker. They were
Who
like all the
recently
people.
retired finally, and good for him.
Hmm.
But damn, what a long and glorious career he had.
Oh yeah, he was always my favorite wrestler.
And I think I just saw a clip on YouTube yesterday of him being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the
Yeah.
WWE Hall of Fame. So good for him, man. Well deserved.
Well, I mean, if they didn't, there would have been an outcry because if
Oh yeah, for sure.
anybody deserves it, it's him.
Oh, indeed, man. And the one I saw was cut, but I'm pretty sure. But it ended with him because like they had 4 of his coats and hats on display when he was out on the podium in the ring there. And at the end of the clip I saw, he takes on one of the hats and one of the coats and off the mannequins that are on display there, and puts on the coat and hat, and then says "Never say never" before exiting the ring.
Nice. The only one I saw was a bunch of people in the crowd shouting, "You deserve it." Which,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, yeah. There's a very uncontroversial opinion there. Yes, he does.
Oh yeah, that's right. Didn't Austin fight Kevin Owens? I kind of want to see a clip of that because I'm down to see an Austin match, especially against a bitch like Owens.
I thought Steve Austin broke his neck or something, and that's why he had to stop wrestling.
I mean, I guess with the right opponent, even that won't stop him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not a real fight, so I guess if they just take it into consideration and go, like don't do moves that put pressure on his neck, I guess he could get away with it.
Is that what's taking so long? Seriously, what's going on? Huh? What's up, Coconut?
It looks fine at my end. There's no buffering that I'm seeing.
Do they maybe need to refresh? Is it still? I wonder if is it that it hasn't started playing for Coconut? Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
I mean, if that's the case, they aren't hearing what I'm asking. So, Coconut, if you can hear me, type Canada in chat for me, will you? And if you can't hear me, type Canada in chat for me, will you? Just Coconut. Just trying to help out here. Give him a minute or so for that, just to be sure. Let's see here. What else is there? Oh yeah, Johnny Knoxville. Didn't he have a match scheduled for that? I don't care.
I don't know much about Johnny Knoxville. I never actually watched Jackass.
I liked him in what was it? Walking Tall, the one with The Rock.
Okay.
The Rock plays a military veteran or soldier veteran who comes home to a small town that was used to have a lumber mill as the main source of income for the town, and finds out that some rich kid is running a casino and a crooked casino in the town and stuff like that. And Johnny Knoxville ends up being The Rock's best friend, the character that he plays, kind of thing, and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen him in anything. I honestly thought he only ever did Jackass. I didn't know he did other things.
Speaking of jackasses, you got great timing, my friend.
I'm Johnny Hellcat, and welcome to Jackass.
That works out well.
How you going, Johnny?
Oh, not too bad. How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. How's Suikoden going? I saw a bit of it. I saw you gambling with the dice.
Yeah, I had no idea because I don't even remember the last time I even played it. I know it was on stream, and I'm like, yeah, I guess we'll see what they tell me what's going on. And as soon as I walked into pretty much a where it forces you into a scene. I'm like, oh, yep, here we are.
Logan Paul was at WrestleMania, so yeah, it's definitely not worth watching.
No, anything that has been tainted by Logan Paul was best avoided.
Was Logan Paul getting his face pushed into the mat repeatedly? Then I don't care what he's
Probably.
watching. Then I don't care what he's watching. If that's not the case, I don't care.
Maybe he's hanging out in the forest pointing at dead guys again.
As long as no one's around to hear about it, because then maybe it didn't really happen.
And yes, I agree with Keegan. Ew, Logan Paul. I don't even know the difference between Jake and Logan. I don't know which one's which.
There's a difference.
Other than the name, probably not. But
Two sides of the same coin.
yeah,
Probably about like 4 centimeters or something like that, or sorry, 4 inches, 4 inches, give or take. I don't know.
Yeah. I was saying earlier, I actually finally bought Final Fantasy VII Remake like a week ago, and I still haven't played it.
Well, that's okay. My friend bought me Final Fantasy 15 about 3 years ago, and I haven't even touched it.
It's not great, really, but I mean, it's fine for what it is, but it's nowhere near as good as like the glory days of Final Fantasy.
Fair enough. And hey, Devil Fruit, I hope you're doing well. Costin says, I didn't actually watch, just evil recaps. I mean, that's more than enough, man. That's more than you'll need.
You know, this is going to make it sound like a terrible game, but honestly, the most fun I had in Final Fantasy 15 was getting the guy to drive for me and then just putting on the Final Fantasy 7 soundtrack and just having him drive me around and listen to Final Fantasy music from all the different games. And just like watch the scenery and just sort of listen to the music and like, oh crap, we've had our destination. Fine, I'll play a bit more, but as soon as I'm done, we're getting back in the car and I'm listening to you know, the Marco reactor from the start of Final Fantasy VII.
Fair enough. Devil Fruit is currently playing Final Fantasy VI on Steam. The version people hate, not the game people hate.
Well, I have the controversial opinion. I don't like Final Fantasy VI. I like the first half of Final Fantasy VI, but then you lose all the teammates that you spent the first half collecting. And it's like, now get them again. And like, no, fuck you.
I'm sorry, what? No.
Well, you start off as a different
No.
person, though.
Yeah, but still no. It's like,
Doctor Who starts off as a different person. He still gets to keep his companions.
yeah, no, I got to the halfway point and I said, okay, you did a good job collecting all those teammates. Now do it again because you've got no one. And they're like, that is not happening. Bye. And that is excellent advice, Corsten. Do remember to like the stream, even though Delahazed is on it.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. In fact, do it in spite of my presence.
Yes. But like the best Pokemon game I ever played was like a fan project, and it was perfect in every way except at the halfway point, you lose all your Pokemon and have to start again. And it's like, nope, not playing the second half of this game.
Hold on, I think I got something in my pocket for just such an occasion. I've been waiting to pull this one out. There you go.
Yeah, it's like you can bring one Pokemon with you because like you've got to catch a train to the next area, and they've got a limit of one Pokemon on the train. And for some reason, the PC where you store your Pokemon can't store Pokemon from the previous area. It's like, you know what? Fuck this game. Yeah, I love the first half of it, but seriously, fuck this game.
I know you've done all this work, but you know what you can do? All that work all over again.
And
no.
Zero,
You can fuck yourself.
I mean, you're allowed to disagree. I mean, you people like what they like, but no, I liked Final Fantasy VI up to that point, but I refused to play any further.
Well, honestly, there are. I think it would have been better if there were a better reward rather than, hey, you just got your character back. If there were like kind of like hidden abilities that you could use, I could see, some sort of individual reward per person, but there's absolutely nothing.
I do remember you could glitch the game with that Gal guy who jumps into the background and like just break everything, which is pretty funny. But Kokanoe says Final Fantasy Tactics needs to come back. I tried playing that, but I don't know why I never got into it. Maybe it's because I was playing on a very bad emulator. If I played on a decent one, it might have gone better. But no, that was a good game, but I think the emulator was the problem.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics, and I haven't played Suikoden Tactics, which I heard was also a good one.
I mean, I like tactics games. I don't know if you've played Disgaea, but I had a lot of fun with Disgaea. That was a great game.
I don't think I've ever played Disgaea.
I only played the first one. Apparently, they made a whole bunch of them, but the first one is great.
Okay.
The part of it is just I like the idea of playing a demon, but not like a proper demon. It's just like this goofy demon that's like no one takes seriously.
Fair
Like,
enough.
the whole story is he wants to be taken seriously and no one does. Like he's trying to prove that he's the rightful heir to the throne or something, and everyone's just like, "Yeah, but go away, kid."
Come back when you've grown.
Yeah. And his assistant is always trying to kill him.
Oh wow, that's always fun.
Yeah. So no, I do recommend it. I'll probably have to see if Final Fantasy Tactics is on Null DC, because if it's a PlayStation 1 game, it should be. Where was it on PlayStation 2?
That's a good question.
I think it was a PlayStation 1.
Well, I mean, I've got a PS2 emulator as well, so I suppose it doesn't really matter, but I should give it another try.
Yeah, PlayStation 1.
Okay. Then it'll almost certainly be on Null.
Exactly.
I think Suikoden Tactics was the Final Fantasy 2 one.
Actually, Keeverdam, you're not wrong, but you're wrong at the same time. I do have connection. I actually probably could be using OBS right now if I wanted to, but there wasn't enough time, so I didn't really bother. And I'm feeling pretty lazy today, so I figured I'll just play it safe. But no, the camera is only on because I've got the area clean enough that I can feel comfortable using the camera on. To be honest, I've been slacking on that for a bit, and I've been doing some spring cleaning the last couple weeks now. And yeah,
well, I'm lucky. It's autumn for me. I've got 6 months before I need to worry about that.
There you go. Only 2 complaints. Items take up a slot, and the Zodiac thing making it hard to heal other party members 100% is bullshit. Fair enough. Hey, Addy, welcome. Hope you're doing well.
It's that the Keeverdam was saying she only played Sega Genesis. That was actually one of my greatest trolls in Fibbage back in the day. Was you've got to put a truth and a lie, and my truth was that I've read the book of the Bible, Genesis, and the lie was I used to own a Sega Genesis. And because everyone knows I'm a video game guy, everyone went on the Sega Genesis. I have never owned one. I've never even played one.
I've never played one, but I've owned one.
Then you wasted your money, sir.
Oh no, it was in a box of consoles we got from the Salvation Army.
Okay.
I have a Sega emulator, I have played 3 games on it. And 2 of them were the Shining Force games.
Okay.
And and I think there was one. No, there was one. We did play Sonic the Hedgehog for Rocky's birthday a couple of years ago.
And Devil Fruit says Genesis was a wonderful system. I mean, I had a Super Nintendo, and back then I bought into the whole console war thing. So I was like, Nintendo's the best, Sega sucks. And that is why I never actually owned a Sega. Well, in Australia it was called the Mega Drive. But it's the same thing. But yeah, and the reason I never owned one is because I was Team Nintendo.
I would go see a doctor if that's the case, Keeve. I don't think this chat is the right place for that.
but also, it's not mine. I've never even met Kivadem in person.
Fair enough. Did not consider that, but well played. Altered Beast is hilarious. Gay furry bait. Altered Beast. Why does that sound familiar?
It's a Sega game.
I'm gonna regret looking this up. Am I?
No, I think it's fine. I think I played an arcade version of that, if I remember correctly.
Okay, maybe that's why it's familiar. I might have done. Oh, okay, yeah. I played an arcade version too.
Yeah, I remember there was a game called Magic Sword that I really liked for some reason, and like I played on the arcade all the time. I remember basically nothing about it, but I remember like for some reason I used to call it Magic Word because I thought it was funny. It's like I was a kid. It was like I thought, haha, the word sword has the word word in it, so I'm going to call it Magic Word.
Fair enough. I mean, yes, to be fair, Keeper, you would also see a doctor about being tardy too.
Oh, yeah, that one. I died on that one so fast.
The Magic Sword or the Altered Beast?
Magic Sword.
Okay.
Right.
Because they're like, you can take, if I remember correctly, you can take alternate paths to get to the end of the level.
Yeah, you can.
And I would always start taking like the highest path you could possibly take, and I would always fall off.
Yeah.
And then I'd end up on the lowest path. Like,
I'm looking at the screenshots now. It's like, yes. I remember this game.
Right on.
Speaking of old games that were awesome, this game is like technically terrible, but it had a great concept, and I loved it for that. It was called Time Killers, and it was like a fighting game, like Mortal Kombat, but you could actually cut the limbs off during the fight. And so, like, if you cut someone's sword arm off, they couldn't use their weapon for the rest of the round.
Nice.
And so, like, as you got beat up and you lost limbs, it became really, really hard to, like, make a comeback. And there's also instant kills where you just went for the decapitation.
Decapitation.
Yeah, like, you do the very slow, very easily avoidable move. But if it hits, it cuts their head off and you win instantly.
Oh, if you want to see Canadians being funny, you should watch Letterkenny, Sir Adamantine. I don't really know much about Schitt's Creek. I mean, I know it's got Eugene Levy, which is always a plus, but I'm sure it can't hold a candle to the comedy stylings of Letterkenny if you give it a try. That's just my that biased opinion, of course.
I was going to say he's biased because most of the views on his channel come from Letterkenny clips.
Actually, no, I'm not biased because of that. I'm biased because I enjoy the show so much.
Let's see. I started watching the show. I kind of put it on a back burner, which I kind of regret because The first few episodes were pretty good. The first season.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the first few seasons are, I think like the first 4 or 5 seasons are great. There's like there's one of the more recent seasons, I think it's like season 7. It's not quite as, maybe it's season 6. Either way, it's not quite as good as it can be. There's a couple seasons that aren't quite as good as most of the seasons, but more often than not, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when we were tagging Ice Cube in every Quipper stream, and I suggested that what's his name? Jared something?
Jared Kiso.
Kiso, that's it.
Yeah.
I was suggesting that Della start tagging him every time he went live. Because Johnny was tagging, what's his face?
James Woods.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should have too, but now would definitely not be a good time because he's probably getting busy with I think he's got one more season of Letterkenny planned, and he's also working on the spin-off series Shoresy.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. They finally showed Shoresy's face, folks. Just not on the show.
That's a shame.
Just not on the Letterkenny show.
It seems a shame. You don't want to give away that secret.
I mean, it's been given away for quite some time. It's just, it was a good bit not showing his face, but now that he's got his own spin-off series, he kind of has to show his face. Yeah.
But it's like the neighbor in Home Improvement where you never saw his face.
Yeah, Wilson.
Wilson, that's it. I could remember the actor's name, but not the character's name.
I can remember the character's name. I never learned the actor's name.
It's Earl Hindman.
Okay.
But yeah, like if they'd ever revealed his face, it would have been stupid. No. The whole point is that you never see his face.
Right.
Or if they'd shown Maris, Niles' wife in Frasier, or any of those characters, or I forget her name, but whatever Norm's wife was in Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to see these characters. It's much better if they stay, in your imagination. Right.
Yeah, like whether you know or not, it kind of ruins the mystery and it doesn't ruin the character, but it ruins that bit about the character, and it just makes it that much better. Like you got like Shoresy's chirps against the dumbasses. Always how he's always banging their moms and stuff like that. Those are hilarious. But what makes them even more hilarious is that it's done by a faceless man.
Yes, exactly.
This faceless man is telling how he drilled your mom and your friend's mom, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, no, just a basic rule is once you've built the secret up, you can't reveal it because anything you reveal is not going to live up to people's expectations. Like what they had in their mind is not going to be the same as what you eventually reveal, and they're going to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in Mass Effect, they revealed Tally's face because in the first 2 games she's always wearing like her spacesuit, and in the third one you see a photo of her. And it's like, oh, is that it? And like they ruined it for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of like Samus. I didn't really need to see that there was a female under the suit or what she looked like under the suit. I didn't care. Like Samus looked cool in that suit of armor, and I'm just like, Samus is a suit of armor. That's awesome. I've never had much experience with Samus until Smash Bros. But that's all I needed. It's like it's a suit of armor with a cannon. That's awesome. I love it. Let's go. Now it's like you can have Samus without the suit. Why?
Yeah.
Why do I want this useless blonde?
It'd be like Mega Man without the suit. Like if there was like a person inside Mega Man, it's like that's a stupid idea.
It's like Kirby with his mouth taped shut.
Yeah.
Like he's just gonna get kicked across the wall and bounced off the walls all day long. Like what the hell?
It's Smash Brothers was a lot of fun. I did.
Oh
like
yeah,
that
for
game.
sure.
Though I'm old school, I still think Melee was the best one.
Look, I will grant that Samus is an attractively drawn character, but I don't need an attractively drawn character when I'm going up against Mario and he's got the metal coating.
Yeah.
I need a cannon that can charge up and fire a ball of electricity and damage my opponent.
And Kokonoe says Smash sucks. I mean, I will have some sympathy for the claim that it's not a fighting game, but it's not a bad game. It's actually I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a fun arcade game.
Yeah.
Also, Samus can fucking Metroid you to death. That's true. I don't see how that's relevant, but I'm just saying I don't need.
I don't need to see. Like, it's like what's his face, the Master Chief guy. No one should ever find out what is under that helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what benefit is there?
If it's part of the lore, it's not needed.
Exactly.
That's the draw.
That's all good, Kokonoe. I was just being lazy and reading what was written instead of reading what was intended or trying to read what was intended.
Well, I was trying to work it out, and it's like I've still not got a clear idea, but I think he's saying that Samus can Metroid you to death, which I think
that might be if that's the case. I think that might be going over my head a bit, but fair enough regardless.
Okay, I can provide context for.
Okay.
In the new Metroid game, it's discovered that Samus is part Metroid.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, because I don't know the story, but I know it's a thing.
And
now,
yes,
is she part Metroid, or does she just have a little Metroid inside her, if you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it had to do...
Because that would explain why they took the suit off.
Well, I think it had to do from the SNES game. Like, if was it part... I'm not sure if it was from Fusion, like Kokonoe was saying. But I think it kind of starts from the SNES game, and then I don't know. Like, because they've taken that story so many fucking weird ways. I have no idea anymore.
I played 2 Metroid games. The Super Nintendo one, which I liked, and I forget what system it was, but Metroid Prime. Was that GameCube? Was that Wii? Anyway, whatever it was. I didn't like the first-person shooter one.
Fair enough.
I have not played any of the Fusion series, so I know zero.
Thank you.
I was right. They had to inject her with Metroid DNA. Oh, she just got a little Metroid in her. That's all. I'm just bugging, but yeah. Okay. According to Kokonoe, in Fusion, she got infected with the X parasite, so they had to inject her with Metroid DNA to save her. And Devil Fruit is confirming that.
Yes,
the X parasite stole her suit. Okay.
I will admit I don't know the lore of Metroid because, as I said, I've played 2 of the games. One of them I didn't like, so I played it for like an hour. Yeah,
like I said, I don't have much knowledge in the way of the Metroid lore either. So,
no, I will say Smash Brothers is also the reason I discovered the Fire Emblem games, and those are pretty cool.
As I say, and to go back to the previous one, to find out that Samus was a girl it wasn't like the mind blowiest of all revelations, but it was like neat,
right?
Next. Okay.
This was back in the 80s when no one cared.
Yeah. It's like, good for her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing exciting about it. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's nothing special.
This was, it would have been the 90s was the Super Nintendo one. But it was a time when nobody gave a shit about gender politics. If it came out in 2022, Yeah, but if it came out today, they'd be like, "Oh my god, this is so empowering for women." It's like,
Such a revelation.
and it's like,
This
there's
has
been
never
female
happened
protagonists for
before.
decades. It's like it's not a new thing.
Wow. And then they made 9 more of it, as one does. Looking like Big Boss's scrawny cousin. I will take that as a compliment. If you mean Big Boss Man, and that's I'll take that as a compliment. I don't know which boss you mean, which big boss you're talking about, but yeah, I choose to take this as a compliment. How you doing, Maniac? Hope you're well. Just kidding with you. Oh, well, I'm still going to choose to take that as a compliment, but hope you're well, dude. Look, I put the face on so you guys can make all the jokes you want. I don't feel bad about it. It's on purpose.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid franchise. Oh, okay. I'm completely ignorant to that one, so forgive me on that. That's why the joke went over my head.
Yeah, I've played 0 Metal Gear Solid games.
I think the only Metal Gear Solid I know I've played was. Isn't there like a character from Metal Gear in one of the Smash Bros. Games now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be it.
Snake. You can play a snake.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
And yeah, Fire Emblem is fun. I tried to play from the very beginning of the series, but the early games are painful. So the GameCube ones were the ones I liked. The NES ones were just awful. So I'm sure somewhere in the middle is where they actually started becoming good. But I know I like the GameCube ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've played. I think the only GameCube game I've played was one of the Smash Brothers, and I was there for batting practice for the better players. Like
but the home run competition was actually one of my favorite parts of Melee.
Oh, I like that.
You've got like this sandbag, and you've got, I think it's like 10 seconds to do as much damage as you can before you hit it with a baseball bat. And it actually measures how far you hit the thing. And if you hit it certain distances, you get unlocked rewards.
That was the one part I was like, I'm so glad I picked DK.
I also remember if you played as Ganondorf, it was actually better to use his big, slow super punch than to use the baseball bat. It actually went further if you did it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the last Smash I played was the one on the Wii. Brawl?
Yeah. Brawl I was never as into. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's still Smash Brothers, which I liked, but
right.
Nothing ever lived up to Melee for me.
No, I did like that they added Meta Knight, but yeah, it wasn't that great. Like I just think Meta Knight looks cool as a character. That's the only
Meta Knight
thing.
was awesome,
right? Like and he may not have the same powers as Kirby, but the fact that his cape turns into 2 like devil wings, that's cool. That's cool too.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people got really mad because Brawl introduced a thing called tripping, where every time you start moving, there's like a 1% chance you'll just fall flat on your face.
Oh, I hated that.
Yeah, everyone did.
But at the same time, it didn't happen very often, so it wasn't that big a deal.
No, but there's a lot of people who play at like tournament level, and people were losing sets because a 1% chance came up and cost them the game. And obviously, feelings were hurt, and people did not like that.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, Tock tripping by Devil Fruit.
And Meta Knight did suck as a character, but it was still fun to play as. I mean, I had two half brothers growing up, so that's pretty much where my games were all based. Like the games that were bought for us were all based on like us taking turns playing them kind of thing. So for the most part, so like we would always get like stuff like Brawl or sorry, Smash Bros and Mario Party and stuff like that. I loved Mario Party, man. That was fun. Like I was never very good at it, but it was fun nonetheless.
Yeah, Mario Party's fun. Have you played Pummel Party?
Not yet. I haven't had the chance to find anyone to play with when I'm available and who wants to play and stuff like that. Like I'll play.
If you ever want to play it and I'm around, I'll play it with you. But it's basically Mario Party with the serial numbers filed off.
Yeah. That's why I got it. Because like I wanted to play Mario Party with some people online and potentially stream it at one point if possible. But that's if we got it. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to give it a try.
I don't know if they still play it, but the reason I played it was Bonsocco and Becca and James Colley and Johnny and I don't know, maybe some other people, but they were streaming it and I was like, oh, I own this game, but I've never actually played it. So they sent me the Hangout link. I was like, join. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Pat was there and
yeah, I just happened to have noticed that Bonsocco was streaming. Well, yeah, let's see what he's playing. Like, oh, Funnel Party. I own this.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, Kokono is saying Meta Knight was like unquestionably the strongest character in Brawl, like by a mile.
Oh, you never had to play against me using Meta Knight. You would have loved that. I suck.
Yeah, no, but what he's saying is that in terms of like character strength, Meta Knight was just leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. Because of mobility mostly. He had like the 5 jumps that Kirby and Jigglypuff have. But he was also like heavy enough that he didn't have quite the same.
He didn't have to slow fall. They did.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it just worked out that he was like insanely good.
The tier list was literally set around who could actually fight this fucker.
Yeah.
Again, you should have you should have. If you could have played against me, you probably would have liked that because like I could play Meta Knight and still lose pretty easily. Now, to be fair, my brothers still got annoyed with me because it took them a lot longer than usual.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, I was still right to ask them, "What are you upset about? You're still winning."
Yeah. I always liked playing as Dr. Mario in Melee.
That's fair.
I don't know why. I liked him so much more than regular Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Because he threw pills instead of fireballs, and yeah. His thing, his aerial attack, instead of spiking them down, it sent them up off the top of the screen. And it was like, this is just so much fun, just jumping around and smacking people. I could never play Mewtwo. I tried, it just didn't work for me. Not my character type.
That's fair. Did they ever put Waluigi in Smash yet?
I don't think so.
Fucking assholes, man. How are they going to disrespect him like that?
I mean, I'm sure someone in chat will correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Waluigi has ever been in Smash Brothers.
No, there is a movement to put him in, but he's not in.
That is a fucking...
Too late to put him in. Hasn't the director given up on the game now? Didn't he call it quits?
Hey, Waluigi is the fucking man, all right? I will have you know.
I like the... they made a song. It's like a Bruno Mars song, but they made it about Waluigi. Uptown Funk, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't believe me, just...
Waluigi.
Yeah.
Man, Waluigi. I think I first learned of Waluigi in one of the Mario Tennis games.
That's
he
where
was,
I think
he was my go. He was my go-to. It's like he's got the reach, bro. Of course, I'm gonna pick him.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I gonna pick? The fucking Mario
funny.
and Wario. They got the center of gravity, but no mobility.
I just thought he was a funny looking character, and I liked him for that.
That too.
Mine was the Mario Kart Wii.
There
Fair
you go.
enough.
That was mine.
No, actually, I think it was the soccer game, Super Mario Superstar Soccer or whatever it was called. I think that's where I found Waluigi. And yeah, I was just like, this guy is just. There's something about the way he's drawn. It's just like, I like this guy. I'm gonna play him.
Who the fuck is Kazuya?
From Tekken.
Oh, okay. Right. Fuck. It's been too long since I played any Tekken.
Yeah, I haven't played Tekken since. How long's Tekken 7 been out? It's like
Fuck.
several years now.
It's been too long since I played any Soul Calibur. Gosh.
Yeah, I played Soul Calibur 6 a lot. I definitely prefer Soul Calibur to Tekken.
Yeah, I think the last one I played was the one they brought Yoda and Vader into.
That was 4, I think.
Okay.
I think the first
hated,
right.
the first
I hated
Tekken I
them
played
being-
was 3.
I hated them bringing Star Wars into Soul Calibur. They just did not fit at all.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. Although it was unnecessary, but I did like them bringing Link into Soul Calibur.
Yeah, but see, I don't have as much of a problem with Link because at least he's from like a fantasy series and he traditionally uses a sword. Like he fits
Exactly.
the theme a lot better than fucking Star Wars.
It's a loose fit, but it's fit nonetheless, yes.
It's the same with Geralt from The Witcher. He's from a fantasy setting and he's a practiced sword wielder. He fits fairly well into Soul Calibur.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, yeah, he could match like an Arthurian legend type
Yeah, exactly.
setting.
Well, for one, I don't know if you guys will be as familiar with, but Baiken from Guilty Gear was added as a guest character to Samurai Showdown, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is like perfect. She fits in. Like, you could believe she was made for Samurai Showdown. That's how well this character fits in."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it was Soul Calibur 2 that had Link and Heihachi and Spawn.
Might have been.
I think if they weren't so very like, and this is not to lend prudence to the feminist arguments, but I think just because of Hyrule Warriors, I think being able to play as all 3 characters in a Legend of Zelda game is a great idea. To where, kind of like Breath of Fire 4, where you're playing as both the good guy and the bad guy, and like the further you're progressing in the story there, you know, it's more unlikely that both the hero and the villain are going to meet. Yeah. And so you kind of like, you have that, oh yeah, you want to fuck with me? I'm going to turn into this badass fucking dragon and I'm just going to melt all of your faces. Like,
one game that did that really well, I thought, was there's a game based on Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail. And in it, there's a fight with the Black Knight. And you can play as either Arthur or the Black Knight. If you play as the Black Knight and you win the fight, it's game over because Arthur's dead.
Nice.
3 and 4 for Breath of Fire? Yes. Though I think Breath of Fire 4 kind of like... I think they were trying to make the villain a little bit more sympathetic, and they kind of failed. Because he meets a woman, and she ends up dying. Spoilers. It's a 20-year-old game. Shut up.
The statute of limitations on spoilers is 21 years, don't you know? Got to be old enough to drink alcohol in America.
Actually, I think it is. I think it is actually older than that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's a lot. It's an old ass game. But
Yeah.
So yeah, he meets this woman who kind of like, because he gets injured because he's only like half of a he's a half powered dragon, because the other half is the hero, of course. And she nurses him back to health, and he kind of forms this bond ? With her.
James Bond.
Janine Blonde. I don't know. Blonde. Anyway, so, and I think that they were trying to use it to where he's like, oh yeah, humankind, they're nice people, but look what they did to this bitch. But I don't think they even like use that as motivation for the villain. Like they're just like, oh well, that happened. Let's move on to the next part. But yeah, it's still a really good game.
And Devil Fruit says spoilers are funny. I guess
Yes and no.
I'm of the mind that spoilers are fine in anything, because I don't actually care about being spoiled in terms of plot. But I mean, there's some games that have a very heavy focus on the story that the people who are sensitive to spoilers would not want revealed.
Exactly. I agree with Terry. I'm not too worried about a story being spoiled for me. In fact, if it's spoiled for me, that helps confirm whether I'm gonna like it or not. Better than just a brief estimation of what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
That helps prepare me usually sometimes. So I don't mind spoilers, but I will agree that yes, there are a lot of stories or games that are story based and stuff like that. And yeah, I do enjoy watching the stories of games. And there's people who don't like spoilers because they want to be able to experience that fresh while they're playing the game and stuff like that. And I can understand that.
See, for me, there's been a lot of times where it's been the spoiler that made me want to play the game or watch the movie in the first place. Like, there's a movie called 1408, and I was reading TV tropes, and I was like, wait, what? I've got to watch this movie. So, the big reveal was spoiled for me, but if it hadn't been, I never would have bothered watching the movie. Like, I would have had zero interest in it. It would have been like, oh, the Stephen King movie, now, who cares? But then I read the sort of the big reveal, like, oh, that's actually really cool. I've got to watch this movie.
Well, it's like Ranting Monkey says. He's like, if it's supposed to be good, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether it's spoiled or not.
Exactly.
Oh, Devil Fruit giving away plot secrets to Ocarina of Time.
I haven't got that far yet.
Damn you, Devil Fruit.
I've only taken 5 steps.
I keep rage quitting at the tree.
I'm one of the people that liked Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time.
That's another thing I learned because of Smash Bros. Is Sheik as Zelda.
Yeah.
I liked. I'm not gonna say I liked 2 more than. I liked 2 more than most people had. Most people do.
Zelda 2, you mean?
Yeah, it's not. Right. It's not the lowest game on the list.
I mean, I think the problem is it was just too different to what people went in expecting. Like, Zelda 2 is so different to Zelda 1 that I can understand people who wanted more of the same being very disappointed.
Yeah.
Same with Mario 2. Like, if you're a big fan of Super Mario Brothers and then you played a reskinned Doki Doki Panic, I can understand people being like, what the fuck is this? This is not Mario.
Yeah.
I was more pissed off that the ending was just a dream.
That was pretty dumb.
I went through all this shit for a fucking dream.
Yeah.
Right.
And
the fuck?
PhD bot unironically enjoyed Zelda 2. Zelda 2 was the first Zelda I ever played, so I didn't have those ruined expectations. But I can understand why people would be upset with it. And I actually really liked Twilight Princess. I don't know if that's the right opinion or not, but I enjoyed it.
I liked it too.
You know what kind of games should end with it being all just a dream?
What's that?
The fucking games that make you collect all these stuff and then reset halfway through. Just to collect it all again. Those should end as a dream, because that way the lack of sense makes sense.
Well, in Final Fantasy VI Defense, it's a book.
The world
It's
ends basically, and that's why you've got to restart.
Oh no, it's a story.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I'm following you.
Because like,
Framing device is that it's a story being told to someone else.
You would have known this had my game not frozen after getting done with Kafka.
In the same way that
Because fuck me,
Yoshi's
apparently.
Island was like a
Welcome to my waking
Super
life,
Mario
Johnny.
2 was like a performance. Like you can actually Super Mario 3, that's what it was. You can actually
Super
see
Mario 3.
like the drapes, like the curtains that would close at the end of the performance.
Yeah, it's the background set and yeah.
Super Mario 3 was really good. That was one of the better ones by far.
I can honestly say that the difficulty spike going from level 7 to level 8 is atrocious.
True. I also didn't like that there were so many of the airships that you had to do. It seemed a bit over the top. But
well, especially the one that's like it's all 2-inch platforms.
Yeah. On the whole, I think Super Mario 3 was one of the standouts. I'd say Super Mario World had better level design because it was on the Super Nintendo, so they could have bigger, more elaborate levels. But I kind of missed having all the weird and exotic suits that Mario could wear, like the frog suit and the Tanuki suit and the hammer suit and all that weird stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I agree with Kokonoe. Mario 3 and Super Mario World are the best 2D Marios.
I think it was I could be wrong, but I think it was a dorkly video I seen recently of like if Mario and Sonic switched villains.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Eggman's over with Mario is like, okay, so you're telling me that this is what happens every time, and this is how he loses. Yeah. So, man, I cannot wait to rub Bowser's face in this. This is gonna be so easy. He thinks it's gonna be an easier time with Sonic. Come on. Yes, Robotnik. Sorry, whatever. Eggman, you know what I meant.
It's the
same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the Eggman. He's the walrus.
And then, he's like, oh man, it's gonna be so easy. Bowser, I can't believe Bowser's had so much trouble with you, blah, blah, blah. Mario's like, oh, you want to be saying that when I jump on you 3 times. Wait. Does your strategy revolve entirely around you jumping on me 3 times? Yeah. Just fucking blows him up. And then
like, yeah, it's 8.
Yeah. And then it cuts to Sonic's game where he's talking to Bowser. He's like, I can't believe Robotnik's had so much trouble with this guy. Like, all you do is run around and jump in the air. This is gonna be so easy. Like, you can't even touch. You can't. Your weakness is sharp objects. Sonic's like, yeah. So gets ready, revs up, spins, and then flings at him, and then jumps in the air. And all Bowser does is turn around and wait for Sonic to land on his back. Spikes. Boom.
And he impales.
Yeah. It's like, Well,
Dorkly
how am I
used to
gonna
be pretty
how am I
good.
gonna clean this off?
Mhm. Dorkly used to be pretty good back in the day. I think they kind of went woke with the rest of college humor, but back in the day they were very, very funny.
Yeah, I still watch the Pokédex compilations. Some of them are pretty, but there's a few that are still pretty funny once in a while.
Yeah.
Hmm. And yeah, I think of him as Robotnik too, Cleaver Dan. But I still know who Eggman is. Like when Della said it, it's like I knew who he meant.
Yeah, I usually go with Robotnik. It's just Eggman was the last thing I heard, so it's fresher in my mind. That's all it is.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dr. Robotnik.
Hmm.
Nicholas.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Robotnik. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hi, everybody. That would be a great way to start a boss battle in Sonic.
Yeah, I would buy the game just for that.
Just have Dr. Robotnik do a Dr. Nick thing from The Simpsons. That would be great. I don't even care if the game is trash. I would play it just to get to that final level, and it'd be worth it.
I mean, I put a game because when you enter your character name, it says choose wisely because it can't be changed later. And if you actually enter your name as changed later, it says no, it can't be changed later. Choose something else. And then if you type something else as your name, it says okay, smartass, and closes the game.
What happens if you put wisely as your name? Because it says to
It
choose
says,
wisely.
It says haha, very funny, but it lets you play. Your character's name is just wisely for the rest of the game.
I like that.
But yeah, I bought it purely because of that. Like the game is garbage, but that one joke at the start is like, okay,
Which was this?
You got my money.
Yeah, that's worth it.
Which game is that?
Oh, I wish I remembered the name of it. I did tweet about it at the time, so if I go back through my timeline, I'm sure I can find it for you. But yeah, I read about it on TV Tropes once again, and was like, oh, I am buying this game.
Mm-hmm. All right, chat. Someone go find that game and buy Johnny a copy.
Yeah, for sure.
And buy me one too while you're at it. But first, buy Johnny one.
What? I wonder how I'm bad at searching Twitter. Let's see if I can just search. Here it is. Ghost 1.0 is the name of it. So it says at the start of Metroidvania game Ghost 1.0, you're prompted to enter your name and advised to choose wisely as it can't be changed later. If you type wisely, the game responds, haha, very funny, and quits to desktop. That's actually incorrect. TV Tropes was wrong on that one. It lets you play. If you enter changed later, the game reminds you that your name can't be changed later and tells you to type another name. If you type another name, the game expresses its annoyance and quits to desktop again.
I don't know if I'm reading this correctly. It's currently 50% on Steam.
There you go. If you want to buy it, now's your chance.
There you go. Just saying. Apparently, they canonized that Robotnik is his actual name, but everyone calls him Eggman. Well, I mean, yeah, Dr. Robotnik is his name. They just call him Eggman for the jokes. Yeah, if that's always been my understanding. Like again, this is one of those game series I'm very ignorant on the lore of, but from what little I do know, that's my understanding.
And I just put a link to it in chat if anyone wants to get the game or.
Gracias.
$12.99.
Oh god, that's gotta be like $15 for me.
It's $18.50 in Australian.
Okay, so about the same for me.
Yeah.
Give or take. That's not too bad, but I'm not in the market to buy games right now, so.
Especially not for a one-off joke that doesn't even have anything to do with the gameplay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But it's something I would probably put on my wish list for sure. For what
Oh yeah.
for what I do become in the market again.
I mean, I say it's not garbage. It's just
Not
it's
worth it.
mediocre.
Fair
It's
enough.
like it's an average game that one joke sold it to me.
But in the actual business end of this of the Sega of America change it or of things, Sega of America changed it to Ivo Robotnik without permission. Okay. The more you know.
That's a strange name. I've never heard of Ivo as a name before.
Really?
Hmm.
Maybe not. I haven't heard of his first name, but but there's Dr. Ivo in the DC Comics universe, that's for sure.
Okay. I mean, I've heard of Ivor with an R at the end. That's like a proper name, but I've never heard of Ivo.
Oh,
It gets weirder.
Kokonoe, you trust us. We know that it can always get weirder, and it always and more often than not, it always does.
Now there's a game I found a demo for called Small Saga,
Hmm.
and it is a it's an RPG game where you play as a mouse and you're trying to let's see, reading the description, beneath the streets of London, an angry mouse seeks revenge against the god who stole his tail. An epic RPG of miniature proportions. But yeah, you go scavenging for food, and you go and you're like, okay, we're gonna grab this bag of seeds, and we're gonna take this down to the sewers with us. And he ends up getting. He's like, there's like the yellow god is what they were talking about, and it's just some guy who's turns out he's a fumigator, and so it's you and your brother, and you end up he ends up helping you run away, and you get your tail stuck in a trap.
Oh.
And he ends up like trying to buy you time to help escape, and he goes to distract the guy by shooting. He has a bow and arrow, and you go to like hit the guy, but he's wearing like the full yellow fumigation suit with the mask, and so any like arrow that goes to hit him, it just does no damage.
Yeah.
And so it's just like the guy turns to you as you're playing as the brother, and he just grabs you, and it's just like the first, you know how like when most in RPGs when someone does like a combo move, it's just like they hit you and then it takes like 3 points of damage, 3 points of damage, 3 points of damage. Well, this one it's like 3, and then it goes like 16, and it's like 608, and it's just like that. It's to let you know that you're fucked. Like,
that was my big problem with Secret of Mana, was you get hit by one enemy and then you get stunned just long enough for another one to hit you, and then it's like basically can never get unstunned before you die.
Yeah. But yeah, you play as, and one of the first guys you fight against in there is a house cat.
Naturally.
Because you're and there's like he's got a god weapon, which is a pocket knife. So like
It's a cat doing with a pocket knife, yo.
And then it's showing one of the pictures here. You got a mate. It's like he's a knight or something. And then there's like a mage with a lighter. And then this jester looking thing with a flute made out of a pencil.
Okay.
It was intriguingly weird enough to at least have me download the demo.
Fair.
I don't think I've ever played a demo of a game. I usually just if I like it enough, I buy it. Otherwise, back in the day, I used to rent them. I rent games from the video shop, but I don't think
I
I've ever
remember
played
that.
just the demo.
I miss those days. Fucking
Really can't do it these days anymore. No way you can
No.
really
No,
rent
you can't.
a game.
Hell, I miss them because like you could also rent a console at the ones I went to too. I don't know about. I'm sure that was pretty much anywhere that did it, but yeah, just in case. Like, cause like we had an N64, but we didn't always have an N64, or we didn't always have like a PlayStation stuff like that too. So sometimes mom and dad would chill out and rent the console as well as the games when we were at the video store.
Cool. I actually rented Earthworm Jim so many times it would have been cheaper for my parents to buy it for me.
Right?
It's like every week I rented Earthworm Jim until I finished it, and it took more than enough weeks that it would have been cheaper for them to buy it.
Man, speaking of renting things so much, they could have just bought it to save money. I can't remember how many times I rented Superhuman Samurai from the video store.
I don't think I know that one.
It's like a very obscure one. It was in like the 80s, I think it was. Kid show. I actually just recently discovered that Matthew Lawrence was in it. He was in Boy Meets World in the later series stuff. Played Sean Hunter's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was this. From what I remember, it was like this kid who goes into this computer program for whatever reason and becomes this literal superhuman samurai robot that goes through cyberspace and fights viruses and stuff like that. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't remember much, but it probably wasn't that great, to be honest. But I know I remember renting that a lot when I was a kid too.
Yeah, I mean, I think most games don't age well. Like, if you play any game from the Super Nintendo era, unless it was an absolute classic, chances are it's not really any fun to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so most games don't age well. It's just the way it works.
Yeah. Spider-Man game we rented a few times for N64. We once rented the South Park Rally game too. I remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That was a bit fun. I think I played as Cartman when we played.
I think.
I mean, he's probably the best choice. He's like,
well, to be fair, we had never watched South Park. Like my brothers and I, we had never watched South Park at the time, so we were just playing without knowing anything about it, and just yeah.
I said most Super Nintendo games don't hold up, but I will admit, the second I saw that Chrono Trigger was on Steam, I bought it.
Fair.
Speaking of, when you mentioned renting Earthworm Jim enough, yeah, Chrono Trigger was ours. Me and my friend spent every waking weekend we could playing that game until we got as close to 100% as possible.
Nicely done. I really liked the little touches, like if you open a treasure chest in the past, it's still open if you go forward in time. But if you open it in the future, you can go back in time and open it a second time. And it's like, they didn't need to do that. But the fact that they still did it is just such an attention to detail that you have to respect that.
Yeah.
That's good.
And, apparently, Robo's theme music sounds a lot like Never Gonna Give You Up. So people were saying that Robo from Chrono Trigger was rickrolling people before Rickrolling became an actual thing.
Nice.
It's as close to that you could get without probably needing a license for it.
But apparently the composer said it was a complete accident. That they weren't trying to copy the song in any way. It just happens to sound a lot like it.
Slaps. Who's talking about Jada?
Yeah,
Who be talking about Jada? No, none of that here, folks. No, we ain't getting no slaps here. The only slaps allowed are slapping the like button.
Robo was my favorite. Yeah, I liked Robo. I always preferred Frog though. Frog was my favorite.
Between Frog and what the hell's his name? The vampire guy.
Oh, Magus.
Yeah.
I liked Magus. But he's a secret character, and I didn't want to give spoilers because I don't know if the game is old enough yet.
I don't know. We were what, 13 when that came out?
I think it was like 95, yeah. But no, Magus was awesome as well. But of the non-secret characters, Frog was my favorite.
Yeah, 95.
It's he was obviously a lot weaker when he joined your party than he was when you fought him as a boss.
Yeah.
It would have been hilarious if you could just like nuke everything, just steamroll the entire game.
Well, you could. You just had to get him up to level like 65 before you could do it. No, it's funny because I was playing Suikoden 5 to do the same thing I was doing with Suikoden 3, which is seeing if the tactical parts are reliant upon your character stats, which in 5 they're not. They're not even close. So you can still get steamrolled in a war rather than, relying on your level 99 guy to, one touch kill everything in its path.
Yeah. I'm actually disappointed by the New Game Plus in Chrono Trigger because it's so easy. Like you're level 70 and the enemies are still like level 2 because it's exactly the same as if you started a new game. You just bring all your characters and the equipment across. It's like, okay, but I don't want to kill Magus in one hit because I'm, 30 levels higher than him. That's awfully anticlimactic.
Yeah. But there were other stories that you could complete that you couldn't have in the first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole point is to see all the endings.
Yeah.
It's, until the Steam version, I'd only ever seen one of the endings. Because every time I played it, I played the exact same way, and I never did the New Game Plus. I just started from scratch. And then, because there were achievements, it's like, okay, I'm actually going to do this. And I got about 5 or 6 endings before I was like, okay, this is just boring now.
Yeah, I was going to try and do that with Chrono Cross.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see, because I know there's a few different endings that they have. But I think I played it through the first time. And then I think one is where, like, if you can get as many people as possible.
I think so. Then, I think I remember getting quite a lot of people on my team in Chrono Cross.
But yeah, you have to get the most allowed or something like that. Because there are some people you can recruit, and then like once you got them, you couldn't get anyone else. Well, there was because of the path you took, you couldn't pick up.
Yeah, there were certain that were mutually exclusive. Like,
yeah.
if you go left, you get Bob. If you go right, you get Steve, kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, I never finished Chrono Cross because my emulator, I didn't know how to change discs. So I played the first disc, and then I couldn't figure out how to play the second one, so I stopped.
Yeah, I'd say the Moo ending was dumb. But yeah, I know that it was funny because I maxed out all the characters in 3. And so I'm like, okay, well, I wonder, I'm at the first, tactical part of the game. I wonder if the stats in game are the ones that are the same as, or if they have like a block to where you can only take a certain amount of hit points off before it just like automatically has him dodging all of your attacks. And there's one where you're supposed to barely make it through, and by the time reinforcements arrive, I had already wiped out the entire opposing team.
Nice.
So it's like, oh, and so yeah, it's just you. It's just your 3. I think you have 3 different units, and so yeah, you're stuck with these 3, and you're like, oh, this is too much for you guys. We need to run away. And I'm like, we're the only ones here. Like,
I remember in 7th Saga, in the American version, there was a bug where, because the enemies sort of leveled up at the same time you did, the bug was that you leveled up about half as much as you were supposed to. So the game actually got harder every time you went up a level because you were further and further behind the strength of the enemies.
nice.
We got another nugget of wisdom from good old David Hogg.
Oh, what did he say this time?
Says uteruses should not be more regulated than guns.
Okay.
I didn't think they were. I was not aware that they were.
No, well, technically he's not saying that they are. He's saying they should not be. And I agree, they should not be.
I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point. First thing I see in the replies. Since you probably have a vagina but not a uterus, let me explain. My uterus doesn't need a background check. I can bring my uterus anywhere in the world without restrictions. My uterus is concealed without having to get permission from the government to do so.
Also a good point.
Someone else says, you're like a really shitty fortune cookie.
Yeah.
Harvard should better regulate their applications. If I'm not mistaken, they were stupid enough to reach out to him, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Like I said, hashtag wasted education.
Yeah.
Watching from Canada, I'm amazed that you can't buy Kinder Eggs in the U.S. in case a child chokes, but you can buy them an assault weapon. Unbelievable. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, with children like David, it's no wonder they're worried about children choking. I'm still worried about David choking on a Kinder toy.
I haven't seen any toddler Rambos running around Canada. Have you?
Well, no, because they're regulated.
I mean, we've got the assault apologist. That's about it. He'll pepper you with apologies.
Yeah.
Most of the time I've ever heard of kids, with guns.
Nerf.
It's either been like, handgun school shooting or shotguns, rifle school shooting. That one time that someone used an AR-15.
Yeah.
And the rest has been handguns. It's like, I have not seen, someone walking in with, I'm here for blood.
I think someone should come into a school shooting with a Nerf gun.
I mean, my friends and I used to walk around with our paintball guns because we meet up every week and go paintballing in the woods, but that's about it.
Too.
It's actually
but
funny.
No, I just like the idea of someone gets like a Nerf sniper rifle, goes up onto like the tower and just like shoots foam darts at people.
Right.
Why is it raining Nerf darts? It's like
I'm in mild amounts of pain. I'm uncomfortably stuck to this toy piece of plastic and foam.
Yeah.
This thing is suction cupped to my eye.
They didn't ask permission to attach themselves to me.
People were saying like dropping a penny from like the Empire State Building would kill someone. It's like, no, it won't.
Hasn't that been proved to be false?
Yes, it
Pretty
has.
sure
It's
it
like,
has.
yeah,
The
there's
idea I can
obvious.
understand, but it's not accurate.
It's just a funny idea. It's like, well, what kind of idiot thinks you can drop a penny off any height and have it be lethal?
I mean, do you really want to ask that question? Should I pull up the page again?
Mildly annoying pain at best.
Yeah.
Speaking of mildly annoying pain,
David
here's
Hogg.
the type of idiot. Here's the type of idiot that would believe that.
Yeah, fair point.
Like, my God.
Yes.
Take him away. Take him away.
No. Your problem. That's your problem. All your problem.
You're stuck with him now.
Sucks to suck, bro. Speaking of sucks to suck, I think I'm going to wrap it up there.
All right.
Getting pretty late, and I'm running out of ways to make sure this doesn't get too boring. I can only imagine how much you guys are going through. Let's go ahead and do the parting thoughts. We'll get Johnny out of the way since he probably got nothing.
Who can we trade in the draft to get rid of David Hogg?
There you go.
Fucking good show, sir. It's about time to get prepared. Terry, what you got for us, bud?
I was just gloat about being the champion of Quippers United with 4 consecutive victories out of 4.
Fair enough, sir. That is a worthy brag indeed. If you guys are unsure, if you guys want to see Terry defend his title, be sure to follow Quippers United over on the Twitter so you know when he goes live. It's usually every Sunday, but just to be safe, in case he has to miss one or something like that,
I think it works out to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when he does it on Sundays.
Or 5 p.m. Mountain if you're important.
There you go. It's 9 in the morning Sydney time. Make it that.
There you go. It's 9 in the morning future time. And of course, I would like to thank my guests for coming to hang out with me tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you gentlemen on.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Door's always open. Chat. Chat. Thank you for coming to hang out tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. If not, well, just pretend you did and spare me the disappointment. I would appreciate that. Just kidding. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night when Quiz is hosting, as per usual, with Paint Stream. And, of course, be sure to keep an eye out on both Twitter and or the Discord to know when he's going live. He does tend to go earlier than most of us. And whether you're on one or the other, someone is bound to send a link on either or. So you'll as long as you're looking for it, you'll find the link. Till then, I will probably see you guys next week, but we'll keep you informed. Otherwise, have a good one, y'all, and I'll see you when I see you.
Bye, guys.
See ya.